Hello everybody, this is Drive Fly Rye from the Get Up and Grow channel. This is my greenhouse. Alright, I know I've been promising this video for quite a while, and I'm going to attempt to do it real quick today, but I wanted to show you how I went about building my hoop house or greenhouse, whatever you want to call it. It's really not that hard. If you've got any kind of skills with a saw and a drill, you can pretty much get it done. What I'm going to try to do is film some stuff and splice in some still photographs that I took while I was building it. So, but to do that, I'm going to invite you inside so you can see how everything is structured on the inside, alright? So come on. Alright, welcome to my greenhouse. From the frame we're in right now, you should be able to see pretty much the gist of everything that compiles the structure of the greenhouse. Most designs out there on the internet right now for a hoop house, if you will, pretty much just call for PVC. And they give you the basic hoop structure that you can cover with plastic. And what that is here's the PVC pipes. These are, oh, I forget the dimensions. They're small, 1/2 inch maybe. And then these are 3/4 inch. Basically what you need is the ribs of your thing to fit into a bigger pipe here. So when you're at the hardware store, make sure that the pieces will fit inside of each other. So usually what the instructions call for is to hammer this into the ground, put your PVC in, over to the other side, hammer that into the ground, and basically what you're left with, if this is ground level here, is a hoop house. What I wanted was a little bit more. I wanted that whole structure raised up so I could stand free in my greenhouse and, you know, work out. Not really work out because I hate exercise, as you can see. But really, I just wanted some headroom. I wanted to feel comfortable in here and not have to be like, you know, all hunched over. I wanted to be able to stand up and be free. So my vision was to raise that entire plan off of the ground about 3 feet. And the way I accomplished this is using some posts and some 2x. So I'm going to cut to a still photo now of me putting the posts in. What I did is I used 3 posts on each side. You can go to the hardware store, you get a 4x4 by 8 foot post, cut that in half, and then you're left with a 4x4 by 4 foot post, which you can bury a foot into the ground, and it doesn't need to be cemented. It's pretty stable, and it's a lot less permanent if you're not cementing things. Bury that post 3 feet into the ground, or a foot into the ground, and you're left with a 3 foot post sitting up. So you get your 3 posts in on one side, you get your 3 posts in on the other side, and then what you're going to do is you take it's a 2x, I think I used a 2x, what is that? It must be a 2x4. 2x4 by however long you're going to make it, and you put your 2x4s all the way across, and that gives you the platform to put your bigger posts in that are going to hold your smaller posts that you're using for the ribs. So once you built that, it's almost like a fence. You take it, you build your platform or your fence, and then you're going to go and you're going to attach, I think I spaced them 1.5 feet. Looks like about 1.5 feet maybe. 1.5 feet, 2 feet from each other in intervals all the way down. Same thing with this side. 3 posts, 2x4s all the way across, attaching the bigger PVC pipes all the way down as far out as you're going to space your ribs. And then what you're going to do after that is you're going to take your smaller stuff. Now, to measure the length of your smaller PVC pipe, what I did is I took a piece of paper, a strip of paper, and I marked 2 marks on another piece of paper for the width of my greenhouse. So this is, I believe it's 10 feet, is it 10 or 8 feet? It must be 8 feet. I think it's 8 feet wide. So I marked 8 inches on a piece of paper. A point at 1 inch, point at 8 inches. So I had an 8-inch space between the 2 points. And I took a strip of paper, and I put one end of that strip of paper on one point, and then I took the other and I adjusted it to where the arc looked right. It looked the way I thought the arc should look. And then after I had that, I marked it. And then I laid the paper flat, that strip of paper flat, and then I measured it. And however many inches that piece of paper was how many feet my total PVC pipe length needed to be. So once I figured that out, I bought the appropriate lengths of pipe, and then I cut them in half, because what you're going to do is you're going to come up from each side and join them in the middle. And I'll give you a look at that. So as you can see here, the pipes come down from each side, and they're joined in the middle with an X. And then in between each rung, there's another X, because you're going to put smaller pieces of PVC in between each. So you'll join those by this X fixture right here. Except for on each end, which you'll use, obviously, not an X, but a T. Alright, so at that point, all the way down, you've brought your PVC up, you've connected them, you've put smaller pieces in between with your X, you've got your things connected over here with your T's, so now you've got two fences and it's all starting to come together here. The next thing you need to do is frame your ends. And the way I did that, easily enough, another 2x4 all the way across, another 2x4 all the way across the bottom, and then I took 2x3s and put them vertically and measured them right to where the hoops already were standing. So I got two coming up, measured them right to the hoops, cut them, and then I screwed the hoops right into the wood. So the hoops aren't going anywhere. It's all now part of it. And then to brace it even further, I took more 2x3s, put one down to that corner, one down to that corner. And now it's a nice solid structure, because the triangle is one of the most solid shapes in geometry. So you got a nice triangle, everything's planted to the ground, your PVC is connected to your frame and it's not going anywhere. And then the final thing I did, at least on this side, is I made a vent window. Because when it gets really hot in here in the summer, you're going to want to cool it off. So I made a window that you can open, brace open, and now air can come in here, you can cool down, you can get an air circulation, you can get some insects in here to pollinate your stuff, and you're good to go. On the other side where the door is, very simply enough, I did the same thing, but before I made my window, I took a saw and I cut this here, and now you have a door frame, and then just measure the height of whatever you are, and make your vent window a little bit smaller, like I did over here. We are on the other side. I got my vent window up here. I just ran a piece of wood. This opens up, and I got a door here. This door was simple enough to create. You just measure the dimensions that are already right here, and you just cut some wood, throw it together, and put it on some hinges. You got a door. It's a piece of cake. Once you got your thing all framed out, the only thing left is to get your wife and help you put the plastic on. Alright, sorry about that. My battery or my memory card was full on the DSLR, so I'm going to do the rest of this with the iPhone video camera. So as I was saying, the last thing you need to do once you got everything all set up and built is to grab somebody and help you put the plastic on. The plastic I used was the thickest plastic available at Home Depot. It was either 4mm or 6mm. I think 6mm is thicker than 4mm. Maybe I'm wrong. But whatever the thicker one is, use the thickest you can get. It's expensive, but it's worth it. And yeah, just take it, unroll it, drape it over, and then use a stapler, like a big heavy-duty stapler. And I'm talking not like the staple where you get at Staples, but you know, the big construction stapler. And staple it to your 2x and your framework. you do that. That gets you one side, and then you get the other side, and the other side you do 1, 2, and 3. And then you're done. And then all you gotta do, you can do whatever you want inside. But I did like a raised garden bed on one side, and then on this other side I did pots. And yeah, it's up to you what you want to do from there. And hopefully this video made some sense, and I was able to help you kind of come up with some ideas to do your own thing. Alter it any way you want that fits your needs. This is perfect for what I need, and there you have it. Oh! One last thing I forgot to mention. The way I built these sides, I only stapled it to the top rung there. And the reason being is I left the plastic loose on the bottom so I can roll that plastic up to create more ventilation, so air can come from underneath there on both sides, and it'll help ventilate in the middle of the summer. Alright, now I'm for real done. And as always, I'm going to tell you to get off your dumper, get up, and grow. Because this is the Get Up and Grow channel, and I am Dry Fly Rye. Dry Fly Rye. Yeah. Now I'm done. Goodbye.